Hello everyone. Can you hear me? Just let me know. So the counter says that no one sees me yet. I never know if that's true, if it's a delay between I start the broadcast and that you can actually see me. Hello, Puffy Wuffy. Come on then. Oh, that was a crap jump, wasn't it? Okay, so Lukey apparently can see me. That's good. Oh, little baby. Let's see what's happening. So, guys, I'm going to ask you a question today because, as you know, this is a Q&A and we're getting fewer and fewer questions. And as much fun as we have here, it would be cool if, it was providing some sort of value to you. So if you have any suggestions, ideas for where you would like the live stream to go, yes, hello, don't sniff my face. It would be great if you could let me know, like, where do you want this to go? What would you like to see happening on Saturday evenings or Sunday mornings, depending on where in the world you are? And, you can type it in the chat right now if you want, or leave a comment if you're watching it on replay. Oh my God, perfect. It's a little bit hard holding you there. So let's see what's happening then. Hello, Zombie. I hope you're well. Zombie, the super mom. How's the springtime over there? We're in full swing harvest here. It actually feels like spring for once. We have had a few really nice days, but now it's gone. Well, last night wasn't too bad, but before that we had a few days where it's been really cold, both in the evenings and throughout the day. But it's getting sunnier and sunnier, and most of the trees and bushes, etc., are now in full bloom. So it's actually really nice. I quite enjoy it, and I don't have any noticeable hay fever or anything. So I'm glad about that. I haven't had that since I lived in Sweden, I think, in spring anyway. Has he confirmed that? Very good of him. Do you have it in writing? So, yeah, we can sit here and puppy cuddle all day, because that's apparently pretty good, she says. Or you can ask some questions. So, Lukey, we were talking about you coming back as well. When do you want to come on again? And actually, for those of you who haven't seen it, I put Harry's next video is premiering this week. My interview with Harry. And he's also, when you're talking to Harry and you ask questions, and I think I always have more questions after talking to Harry than I had before, because he's always saying something that you're like, oh, I want to ask about that. Oh, I want to ask about that. So I think at some point I'm going to have Harry on a live stream so that we can do that together and just say, oh, what about this and what about that? Because Harry hasn't actually been on my live stream. So maybe more guests would be fun. I don't know. It's hard work to pin people down and get everything working and have people coming on your live streams or for interviews. So yeah, it's all taking time and effort. Oh, Puffy. You can sit here all the time. Oh, she doesn't want to leave today. Gung Fu, long live the queen. Hola, que pasa? It's all good, Gung Fu. It's spring. This week have been pretty good, actually. So what's happened is, as most of you who were here last week anyway know, I quit my job, and that is brilliant. I have much more time. Obviously, I'm not going to have as much money soon, but you know what? Sometimes this is quite interesting because I haven't been cheating a lot or anything with my food. I've been eating what I've been eating, and my weight has been pretty stable, going up a little bit, going down a little bit, but nothing going on. I quit my job, and I think I have lost 2.5 kilos this week, and I haven't really changed much in my diet. So that goes to show how stress affects your body and is just, something that is blocking weight loss, for example, when you when you think that, what, I'm eating pretty well. What's happening here? Why am I carrying a bit of extra weight? I think it's coming off now on its own, and I'm not doing anything specific. I'm just eating well, which I have been previously as well. I've been eating well for, a period of maybe 3, 4 weeks without having anything that could be considered being excessive carbs or anything, even if that is, we're talking about onions or whatever. And nothing's happened. And now 1 week, boom. And I don't even have, I have a little bit of weight that I could lose, but it's not like I'm morbidly obese. So 2.5 kilos in 1 week is quite a lot of weight to just drop like that. I don't think I've ever lost 2.5 kilos in a week in my life. So there you go. He confirmed the solidity of my rig. Very, very good. We are glad to hear that. What do you say, Puffy? High five. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Harry is like a good story. Each new chapter leaves you with more questions. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I love the one with Sarah. Yeah, maybe we can have her back. She's quite open to that. The only problem there is that obviously she has a child with a lot of needs, and last time I think she had to get someone to look after her child because obviously when she's available is literally in the middle of the night for me, so we have to work out some time. But I can absolutely have Sarah on again. I'm pretty sure she would say yes. I have quite a few people lined up, so I haven't booked any of them. I mentioned Belinda Fetke. Oh god, Puffy. I have a woman competing in powerlifting on a carnivore diet. She's doing the nationals today or tomorrow. So she wanted to leave it until after that before we book anything so that she can actually share her experience of actually going carnivore and how that's affected her results, etc. So that's going to be interesting. I think there's a guy as well, a type 2 diabetic I'm going to have on. We haven't booked a time yet. So I have a few people lined up now anyway. So hopefully there won't be any problem with actually getting that going. Maybe you can sit down here. There you go. And I need to go and get a haircut because this is getting annoying. Right. I'm still eating like crap and feel like crap. I get my cow this month though. Miss Pagan, you eating like crap? So tell me what crap is for you, because I think you're usually eating fairly well, or is it really, really crap? Let me know. Lukey, Pim, is a strict ruminant meat plus sea fish diet a good first step to tackle autoimmunity? Yeah, I can't see why not. Sure, there are some people who have fish allergies, but I think you would notice pretty quickly. And you can just cut the fish out for a week and then reintroduce it, and you'll probably notice a difference if that is bad. What's more likely to trigger that would be eggs and milk, because that's kind of common. That would be something that is actually upsetting to your immune system. More questions, please. I have a question for you guys. Does anyone want a little dog that needs too much attention? Like this one? Yes, I'm giving you away because you're a pest. How do you cook really fatty steak? So that is a very, depends on who you ask. How do you like your steak cooked? So for me, what are you doing, Puffy? I can't bother with you. Sit still or go away. So I don't like my meat cooked too much. I prefer it blue. I can eat it raw, no problem. But I do like the taste of having the outside fried sometimes not. If it is because you don't like chewing raw fat, which I can understand because I absolutely hate it, especially the warm raw fat that is just like blah, blah, blah. I hate that. I can't do it. It makes me almost throw up if I'm trying to chew and swallow that. It doesn't work for me. So what I'm doing then, if you have like a fat cap on it, what I would do personally for my taste is that I cut that fat cap off. Some people would just like chop my head off for doing that, but that's fine because I want my meat cooked very little. I just cook the fat separately. I'm almost like rendering it in the pan or the air fryer or what am I using so that it goes a bit like crispy and almost melts in your mouth. So it's like almost like pork cracklings, but just the very soft part. So it totally depends on how you like eating your fat. So I suspect that is you're asking this question because there is something with the consistency of the fat or whatever. But if it's just a very, very, marmorated piece of meat, if you have like a Wagyu steak or something, you can probably cook it the way that you would cook any steak, literally. So if I didn't answer your question, if there was something else that you had in mind, Benjamin, just let me know and I will try to answer it better. Miss Pagan says, I'm embarrassed. It's really bad processed food. Dramatic music plays while thunder crashes. Red Bull, lol. No, I have 3 little dogs that need too much attention, lol. Okay, so Miss Pagan, what about not eating the processed food? What sort of processed foods are you eating? Is this something that even if you don't have your cow yet, what could you replace that with? And why is it that you're eating it? Because I always like to look at, okay, why is this happening? It's very easy to go surface level and say, hey, because I like it. But that's not really ever the reason. When we're eating crap food like that, there's always an emotion behind that. There's always a reason for why you're eating that. And that's probably where you want to start having a look at it. If you find that it's easy to just stop it when you get your cow, then it might just be your brain wants to do that and it's telling you that it's too much hassle to not do it, etc. So just have a look at why you're doing that and try to get to the root problem and then solve it. Question going first says, someone on Instagram stupidly stated, need carbs for muscle gain. It interrupted my cinnamon cat video watching. It's protein you need for muscle gain, not carbs. End of story. Yep, I totally agree. You don't need it for muscle gains at all, I don't think. Would it enhance it in certain types of situation? If you are really seriously lifting really heavy, pretty much every day, maybe several times per day, and 6 days per week, maybe it might help you because that is not a natural way of doing it. It's like, do you want the performance just for the sake of it, for your ego or for because you're doing competitions or something? Maybe that's the way to go. And this is why, when I had Ella Bruce on, she's a bodybuilder, so obviously she wants to remain lean, but she was using some carbs for performance, and she's doing fine with that. Is that ideal for her body? I don't think so, but she's feeling good doing it, and she's getting to where she wants to go. So, fine, that's her decision. That's why I want to have this other person on as well, because she's a power lifter. Powerlifters don't really give a shit about the body fat to some extent. There might be some, I want to look good as well, but what they're literally interested in, what their only goal is to lift as much weight as possible. End of. So obviously she's gone full carnivore, so I'm really, really interested to see how this is going to compare with what she was doing before going full carnivore. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that interview and I'm hoping that it will happen. Luke says, my classes are back and I'm not sure which Saturday. Probably next one would be fine before I pile up a lot of work. Okay, Lukey, let's book next Saturday. Everyone, next Saturday I'm going to have a very special guest with me. Lukey. Okay, glad, Benjamin. I'm glad I answered the question without understanding it. That's always a bonus. Okay, permaculture, pagan. I'm having migraines again. Muscles in my entire back are inflamed, and I feel 80 years old. Skin breaking out, joints ache. Yeah, so that probably tells you that you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah? So why are you doing it? Let's see. She also says, laughing my ass off. I'm being a lazy ass and the larder is low. Family and life stress has me turning to comfort food, energy drink because lack of energy has me not sleeping again. I'm back on the bad cycle. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. It's like for some reason you are starting doing that. Maybe it's stress or you really don't feel good and you do it and then you do it the next day and then you start feeling bad because of the diet and then you're unable to break out of it. So basically what you have to do, excuse me, just set your mind to it. I'm going to do this. The first 2-3 days are not going to be pleasant. They're never pleasant. And that's what I hate every time if I'm just having like a planned cheat day with whatever food I've decided I want to eat, I'm usually fine. It's usually not a problem for me to go back at all. However, if I'm having a cheat day and let Bart go shopping, he will literally buy the whole store, and that will turn into a 2 or 3 day cheat day because the bad food is still there. So I'm one of these people. I plan how much I want to eat. Okay, I'm gonna eat chocolate on Sunday or whatever. I go and buy a chocolate bar, and that's it. I don't buy cookies and ice cream and pizza and that and that and that. So it's very easy for me to get back on track. I just did it. It was planned. My brain's happy because it got a dopamine hit, and it also happy because it got to decide what I was going to do. So I'm still in control. It's not out of control. But when I have leftovers of that crap food, I'm not quite in control anymore. It's like, well, it's kind of part of the cheat, and well, it's there, and I need to finish it, don't I? Is that sort of thing going on? So you need to get rid of that stuff and just decide, make up your mind that this is what's going to happen. I'm going to stop it. Tomorrow I'll start, or right now, or whatever you want to decide, and get ready for it. 2-3 days of having cravings, probably headache. Sounds like you're going to have headache. Not going to feel good. The world's going to suck. And then you're going to feel good again. And probably better than you felt before. Just saying. So don't ever do that. Just like buy two of everything and literally everything that you can cheat with. Just make sure that when you're cheating, decide what you're going to cheat with, decide how much you're going to do, and then finish it at a certain time or whatever. If you're going to eat it in the evening, do it in the evening, and then after that, we're done, whether you have leftovers or not. And it's very hard when you have leftovers once you started it because your brain will justify it. Necrokitty, I'm glad that you're here. You are allowed to lurk if you want. Okie dokie. Let's see that. Good evening, Andrew. How's the UK now? Is it starting to get autumny? I should just go back to listening to the old sugar cravings videos. That was my daily therapy. Yeah, you know what? When my brain is going there as well and it wants to kind of start doing naughty stuff, I should be going back and listening to it. So every time I listen to myself, I'm like, actually, I'm quite wise. I should be listening to my own advice. But our brains are really tricky and they're just trying to screw us up, basically. So we have to remind ourselves of the knowledge that we actually have and what we want to do and literally just do it. It's not a huge effort to actually sit there with the cravings. It's just uncomfortable and we don't really want to do that. And I was going to reprocess a lot of more of those old videos and also record new ones was my plan. I haven't had time to do the new ones, but I haven't been able to reprocess the old ones because my bloody editing program seems to, well, first of all, my computer has played up a lot and shuts down randomly, etc. So if I disappear, you know what I'm doing. And secondly, the editing program that I'm using seems to I think it's Harry's fault. He was talking too much, so my interview with Harry was way too long. But it stopped at 31% every single time, and half of the time it froze my computer as well. So there's something going on here, and I'm not really sure what to do about it. I hate computers and don't want to deal with it. So now I'm like, oh, okay. So that's on my to-do list. Can't promise when it's going to happen, but at some point I need to deal with it. So, oh, only Lucas can call you Shelly. Can we have a nasty question stream if Luke is on next stream? Luke says no, he's a very proper young man. So no, Gung Fu, sorry, you can't. Luke is in control. I'm happy that Luke is coming on at all, so he will set the rules. Haha. Science and bias to Gung Fu. They think you can't keep glycogen stores high enough to lift heavy. If just starting out, it might be a good idea to supplement with carbs, but studies clearly show after a few months glycogen repleted. Yeah. The key here is to eat enough. If you only eat enough to cover your basic amino acid need to do the repair, etc., that you need, and to build the muscles, then there's going to be less available to replenish your glycogen stores. So if you're training a lot or very often, it's probably more important to get enough meat or energy into your body. If you're lifting really heavy and you do it every 3 days, you're probably going to be fine either way. Okay, boss number 2 at Lukey. Yeah. Patricia says, and forgive yourself for the lapse permaculture pagan. Don't call yourself names, just move on in the right direction. Absolutely. And I hope that you know that, Miss Pagan. Kung Fu. Let's not get sidetracked. The statement was carbs for muscle growth. It is wrong. The building blocks you need are proteins. Yeah, fair enough. I agree. Necro says, yeah, this week's cheat food was a pint of heavy cream with some maple syrup in it. I finished it in a single day, so 6 more days to go before my next naughty food. Awesome. You know what, Necro? I can only remember when you told us about that super long fast that you were doing. Can you just give us an update on what happened when you broke the fast? How much weight did you lose? How do you feel now? Because I know before that you were struggling to fast at all. So I'm kind of curious what actually happened with that, if you don't mind. I know you said you were lurking, but now you told me that you're here and you're actually commenting, so you can continue commenting. Yeah, my old man is bad at giving me goodies or energy drinks. Lol, my house needs to get back in order. Yeah, I mean, it's going to make it a lot harder for sure. But you do not have to say yes to them. You can just actually not do it. I did that once. I've done it several times, but once recently, well, it wasn't that recent, maybe 2 months ago actually. Someone decided it was cheat day and he knows that I like white chocolate, so he went to buy chocolate for him and a white chocolate bar, and it sat in the fridge for over a week, and then he eventually ate it because I didn't touch it. So I was quite proud of myself for not touching it. So you can do that. Maybe it will disappear into someone else. Maybe you can decide that in a week's time I'm going to have a cheat day and I'm actually going to drink it or eat it or whatever it is. But you do not have to give into it just because it's there. But having said that, you need to make your mind up about what you want to do and then actually do it. It's like, nah, I'm not going to have it today. Maybe I'll have it tomorrow. Maybe I won't. You're probably going to have it tomorrow because it's there. So just make a decision. That's all I'm saying. Make a decision. Either you do it or you don't do it. But don't let your reptilian brain react in the moment when it sees it. Oh, yes, I need that thing because it's all shiny and nice and tastes good and will keep me awake. And all those excuses that you have. Just make a decision. Today I'm going to be not eating sugar, or today I will, and this is what I'm going to eat. And that's going to make it so much easier for you to move forward from there when you are in some sort of control. Right, alternative studies also show max MPS when trained to exhaustion. Lifting in a glycogen depleted state should allow that to happen in a shorter time frame. Fair enough. Andrew, I live in a household of 5 and I'm the only carnivore keto. There is so much crap and temptation in my kitchen. The UK weather up north is predictably crap. I'm sad to hear about the weather. How is it going with your diet? Let's see. So Andrew also says, without you guys, it would be for me impossible to stay on the straight and narrow. So you're doing it. And this is one of the beauties. I know that we're only here on YouTube. We're only kind of virtual. You might be in Bart's Discord, which is better. And if you didn't hear that, my interview with Matthew very recently, he's talking about community for healing from addictions. And it's really important to see and hear other people who are doing what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to do something and you live in the household with 5 people and or 4 other people, and you're the only one who's trying to do this, but your brain is like, well, they're having chips and they're having soda and pizza. Of course, it's going to be hard. And no matter what, it's going to be hard when someone next to you is eating all that crap that your brain wants. But when you have the support somewhere else and you see that other people are doing it, and it's kind of like you're validating it to your own brain that this is actually not crazy, it's a perfectly normal way of eating. It's is the best way for me to eat, and people who are eating this way are clearly feeling really good, and that's why most people are very passionate about it, because it makes them feel good or it heals them from something. So yeah, again, I think for me, being an introvert, I don't necessarily recognize the power of community as much as I should, because I'm quite happy to be on my own, being locked up on my own. I don't need company. I like nice, quiet time and just, everyone else can fuck off and that's good. It's fine with me. I don't care. But at the same time, when I'm actually interacting with people, I always enjoy it. Unless it's been, going on for a whole day or something, then I might need to pull away. I love reading your comments. I love seeing what's going on. But some things are just getting too much for me. That's why I'm not in the Discord. I can't handle this social media thing with all the comments coming in over and over again. My preferred way of doing it would be to actually listen to YouTube videos, not even watching them, just listening to them and stay connected that way. It's not the same thing. And I think that for me, what would work best is probably a face-to-face and have a community of carnivores that I see in person. And there are a couple of carnivores that live very close to us, maybe 5-10 minutes away with the car. So they live in Nelson as well. And we've seen them a few times and it's great. It feels like you have some extra connection with these people because they're doing what you're doing. And it's easy to go over there and they say, let's have a barbecue. Have a barbecue with meat. There's not all this other extra crap. So we went there the first time we saw them. We went for barbecue, and there are no chips with dip. Instead, there is bacon and liver pate that you can pretend is chips and dip. Perfect. And it's just like you have this reinforcement from someone, and that would work much better for me. But I don't necessarily need too much of the online community. I'm sure I would do better if I had the focus, maybe, to connect with those all other people that are doing the same thing as me. And I do to some degree, because I'm here every Sunday and I'm talking to you, and it's great to hear about your stories, what you've been doing, what's worked for you, and hopefully I can help you as well, obviously, because I do have a lot of knowledge that I want to share if I can, but I don't know everything, and I don't know how you're going to react to things. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I don't know, probably went off topic a little bit, but anyway, let's see what's going on. Okay. Miss Pagan says, I was doing much better at only cheating on holidays with home cooked goodies once in a while. I need to put on the big girl panties and just do it like last time. Yeah, that's what it is. And sometimes it takes a week or two to actually get to that stage where you are ready to put those big girl panties on. And that's what it is. But you know you need to do that because you don't feel well. Oh, I'm getting hiccups. So make a decision about when to do it. If you need a few more days, fine. Don't put that pressure on yourself. It's just like, okay, I am going to do it, but right now I can't commit to doing it on a specific day or time or whatever, and that's fine. If you can do it, then obviously do it, because the sooner you do it, the better for you. Okay. Any drinks? I feel that I love those damn cranberry Red Bulls. I have never had a cranberry Red Bull. That sounds awful in my opinion. I don't quite like cranberry. Okay, do you think it would be better to just start back to carnivore or fast 2 days then back? White chocolate is my favorite too. Okay, so this is what I think. Ideally, if you can go straight to a 2 day fast, I would choose that any day. As in, I think that would be a much better way of doing it, because that way you are going to just get rid of the you're going to get the insulin levels down, you're going to get your blood sugar down, and you're going to get rid of all that, all those problems. However, I can't really do it. I can't go from a sad diet to a fast. It's too painful for me. I need to go to a carnivore diet because I'm so freaking hungry that I need to eat. So if I've been off for a week or whatever, so that my hormones really like all over the place. I got insulin high maybe and blood sugar all over the place, and every time I'm eating, it's like you get this huge sugar response because I'm eating too many carbs, etc. It's not going to work for me. So I can have the intention of fasting, and then I always end up eating carnivore. So I've tried it so many times and it just doesn't work. Instead, now if I'm ever doing that again, what I'm doing is that I decide that, okay, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to be full carnivore and I can eat as much as I like, as much as I need. I don't care if it's salami and cheese or whatever, so not the ideal carnivore foods, just to kind of get by and get rid of those massive cravings. I'm like, you know what? I'm allowing myself these not ideal, crappy carnivore foods, and that's fine. And I'm just going to eat, and eat. And then it literally takes me about 3 days, and then my appetite is going down pretty quickly because, you know what, in the end of the day, my insulin's going down, my blood sugar's going down, and all of a sudden, I don't have those blood sugar swings and I don't have the same kind of hunger. So if you can do fasting, by all means do it. I think that's probably a quicker way of fixing the problem. But I can't. Personally, I can't physically do it. It just doesn't work for me. So right. So Rodrigo says, I sometimes get bad circulation in my fingers, light numbness, and feet. Any ideas? I eat mostly meat. This sounds very much like neuropathy, but I don't know if you have a pre-existing diabetes at all, or if this is something new that came with the diet. So if you want to expand a little bit on that, because a lot of the time you will tell me something like this, and I have no idea whether this is related to something that is pre-existing or if it's new. So if it's new, then I would probably give you a different answer, although I not entirely sure what could go on there. So you eat mostly meat. So what is it that you're eating in addition to meat? So Rodrigo, if you want to clarify on those points and just post a new question and I will get to you. Oh yeah, so Necro says the water fast was 27 days. It was rough until 27 days. That's a lot of time. It's almost a month. It was rough until I figured out electrolytes thanks to monk mode. My scale doesn't work well, but it was about 25 pounds loss. Stressful times afterwards, regained 15 pounds. Okay, well, your net loss is still 10 pounds. It's not bad. And how do you feel now? I just keep asking you questions so you can't be quiet. Lukey says, animal-based bodybuilding and strength training in general are severely underrated. Your body composition improves and the diet easily provides nutrients to repair joints, tendons, and fascia. Yeah. I think so too. So one of the things with meat is clearly that it's one of these things that it is pretty much essential. You can live on a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet, but you're gonna have to supplement so much and really think about what you're eating, and it's gonna be so inferior. It's not gonna be the same thing ever. So yeah, absolutely. The question now is, to what extent can we push it? So what I wanted to say when I was talking about the power lifter that I'm hopefully going to have on is like, we are designed to be lazy because we want to conserve energy. So no one who lived 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 years ago would have gone out and tossing rocks around for fun. Why would we do that? It doesn't make any sense. You're risking injuring yourself. You risk, not having enough energy for when you actually need it, which is like your dinner is running past and you've been tossing rocks all day, so you're tired. It doesn't make any sense. No one would have gone out to try and build muscle. It would just have happened naturally because they were using the bodies every day. So there's kind of a logical limit to how much work you should be doing, and it's very visible in our physiology. Every single time you are exercising, what you do is that you're literally ripping apart your muscle fibers. You're destroying your muscle fibers. You're breaking them. They have to repair again, and they will repair them a little bit better than they were before so that they're a little bit stronger. And that's how you get stronger. When the whatever you're doing, if let's say you are doing a max deadlift of 150 kilos, that's your max, you're going to rip quite a lot of those muscle fibers down. And then tomorrow you're doing, or next week you're doing 100 kilos, it's going to be no match for your muscles because they are not strong enough to, keep their integrity at this weight. So you're not going to get much of a training response, but it's not going to destroy your muscles either. So you are comfortable working on this weight. And that's, muscle building is something very modern. It's not something someone would have done tens of thousands of years ago. So I don't think that with that aim to just get stronger or bigger or whatever, that is not a natural way of treating your body in general. That's not how we're built. That's not how we're supposed to be working. If you want to do that because it's fun or whatever, it's your passion, go for it. We all have those and they're different. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be ideal for your body. And that's, and that's what I think that we get so hung up on. Some people are just saying, well, I'm getting better results if I'm doing this. Okay, fine, do that then. But that's the results. The result doesn't equal health. So what's your main interest here? Is it your health or is it the results that you want? So yeah, but as you say, I also do think that if you get enough animal protein and the other things that come with it, you getting enough nutrition, you're probably going to do pretty well with whatever you're doing. Necro says, interestingly, it took a month to get my full appetite back. Wow, that's a long time. Usually takes, well, I haven't ever fasted more than a week, to be fair, and it didn't take more than 3 days, maybe. I really wasn't interested in overeating like usual. My gut healed a bit. Cheat meals don't hurt me as much. I'm back to overeating. Okay, so maybe it's time for you to do another fast. How long ago was it? Here we go. I'll do another long water fast. I'm just waiting for the time to be right for me. Perfect. Yay! Shell is coming over. Good. So I heard that you cook naked, Shell. Are you gonna cook for us? It's gonna be weird, but it's okay. There are a lot of weirdos in this country. Miss Pagan, I'm on a homestead with 2 kids, so I feel the isolation online is the best I have. Yeah. And you know what? When you have an online community, I think the best thing that you can do is like use it the way that will serve you best. So when you're struggling, instead of kind of feeling ashamed and hiding and withdrawing from that community, what you really should be doing is going on there, say to people, hey, this is what's going on right now. I need a little bit of, moral support or suggestions or whatever. And from what I see, as soon as you kind of announce that things are not quite going the way that I want them to go, most people have been in a similar situation. Most people will kind of chime in and say, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? And most people are really supportive. So this is when I think that we actually mostly need that community, is obviously when we're struggling. And when we're not, we might not need that as much. And we're just checking in as and when we feel like it. And for some people, what I enjoy most is not getting the support, I enjoy giving the support. But I probably need to, ask more for the support rather than just giving the support. So try to kind of find that balance as well. Going Fu, you're not welcome. Although Shell likes pizza, but she only eats the topping. So if you bring the topping, we'll let you in. Christina says, finally, I can relate to your preference of productive solitude. Yeah. You know what? I'm so happy being on my own. Really, I could just like sit, do my own thing, listen to audiobooks, listen to YouTube videos, hang around in the sun, cuddle my dogs, and don't speak to anyone for a week, and I'm fine. It's quite nice. Miss Pagan, I actually got stopped by vegans on my way out of the market from putting the last payment on my cow. They were not prepared for me. What did they say? Did they say anything about you being there buying meat? Because that's kind of very rude. So the pizza only for Shell, Bart, and Gung Fu. Okay, fine. Whoever else is coming by, we do the barbecue. Whatever you want to barbecue with, get that made for you. Necro says, I don't know any carnivores offline. The closest are 4 to 5 hours drive from me, and those dudes, they're kind of dicks. Okay, I'm sad to hear that, but that's the only reason that we know these carnivores here is because one of them was following Bart and they spotted us on the beach one day, like randomly. And they just went up to us and said, hey, aren't you Bart? So that was pretty cool. And the world is pretty small if you manage to find someone on the beach in Nelson. So yeah, we should have a like an app or something that all the carnivores can log in so that you can see the location of where you are if you want to connect with someone who's nearby. So if anyone want to create that app, let me know. Robbie D. Hi, Pim. I went 3 months without sugar thanks to your videos. Awesome. I'm so happy. Probably longest time in my life, which is a scary thought. Um, yeah, sure. It's scary, but 3 months is actually a really, really long time. I'm so glad that my videos help. Really. Because I don't even hear about probably even half of the people that do those kind of things. Like you're probably one of them. I mostly see and hear the people that take part in my 30-day no sugar challenge. So that's really, really good feedback. I mean, I know that it's working, but it requires some work from the person doing it, obviously, or mostly brain work, to be fair. So, yeah, I don't know if you're sugar free now, but 3 months, you really need to be proud of that, and not think like, oh my God, why is that this longest period in my time? I can totally relate to that. I haven't really counted how long I've ever gone without any sugar, and I don't know. So now, for example, I haven't had any burgers in a few weeks, I think, but when I'm having a burger, I do really like having some barbecue sauce on it, for example. And I used to make my own barbecue sauce and use a bit of stevia or whatever. I can't be bothered doing that anymore. Just like, well, actually, I'm not gonna die if I have a little bit of barbecue sauce on. I don't have an autoimmune condition. I'm not gonna notice any difference to my body tomorrow by having a bit of barbecue sauce on my burger. So I'm gonna have it. If that counts as sugar, then I don't even know if I gone 3 months. Otherwise, I might have, might not. I don't really know. I'm really bad at counting. I guess it's my subconscious that is just telling me that, well, there's no point in counting because then you're just going to be disappointed. So I just do what I'm usually doing and decide I'm not going to eat sugar. And then I'm kind of, yeah, probably been about 3 weeks now. And when it's getting further than that, it's like, when did I actually start? So, but 3 months is a long time. It's 25% of a year, which is pretty long. So, Robbie, very well done and congratulations. I hope that you are still on track or at least in control, because I think the control part is even more important in the long run. Because I'm not saying anyone, but if you didn't have the tools and you were not in control, you could probably force yourself to do 3 months if the reward of doing so was big enough, whatever that is. But I'm really hoping that you have that control and that you're allowing yourself to use the prefrontal cortex to decide what you're doing with your diet. Let's see. Would be a great study to get untrained individuals, have them follow same workout routine, eating carnivore versus mixed diet. Who gains most strength, shifts in testosterone and body composition with exercise? Yeah, that would be a good study. I love that. Miss Pagan, fast it is. Okay, it's easy for me to just ignore the hunger and deal, then eat something because it triggers the carb cravings again. Okay, that's perfect. So if you're here next week, let us know how it went. That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm jealous that you can do that. I can ignore the hunger signals, but not when I've been eating crap. So if I'm going on a fast now, I'm kind of reluctant to do it because I don't like being hungry, but I will be fine. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna fast. I just need to set my mind to doing it. I'm more intermittently fasting now between 16 and 20 hours, and it's fine. Um, what was I gonna say? So yeah, if you can do that after having, been eating so much crap, I envy you. But that's really good. You need your snake juice. Yeah, I'm always drinking snake juice, even if I'm not fasting. What's the downside in using common table salt with anti-caking agent in it? I'm not sure what the anti-caking agent is. Sometimes I just know what it is when it's cheese. That's usually like potato starch or something. I have to check what it is, otherwise I can't answer this question. I might not be able to anyway. So it could be sodium aluminosilicate, or in Europe, apparently sodium ferrocyanide. That sounds awesome. And potassium ferrocyanide. Cyanide. Okay. Um, silicon dioxide, calcium silicate. Um, yeah, okay, so I'm not sure. Do you know what the anti-caking agent is in your salt, Lukey? So we can have a look at it. Damn it, I scorched the tomato sauce. Well, you shouldn't be eating that anyway, should you? Okay, so Rodrigo says, yes, it sounds like neuropathy. It's new. Okay, so did you also tell me what sort of vegetables you're eating? Let's see. I actually had low blood sugar on the SAD diet. It's perfect on keto. Interesting. Hyper carnivore, but sometimes I get that new neuropathy. Not really sure. I also get some fresh tropical berries I pick myself and drink milk and sometimes get cheese. That's pretty much it. Okay, so have you heard about Raynaud's disease? That's when you don't get blood flow, mainly in your hands, but it can probably affect your feet as well. And that's autoimmune. So I'm wondering what you should, if you say that, uh, what did we say? But sometimes I get that new neuropathy. What I would do if I were you, I would keep a food journal of what types of foods you've been eating. You don't have to write the weight or anything like that. Just write down what you have been eating and really pin it down. Like if you're eating cheese, check what's in the cheese, not just cheese, because you might have other things in there as well. Uh, what do you say more? Some berries, what berries are they, etc. And then also note how much of this neuropathy you're feeling on that day. And then every time you get it, look for patterns. What happened? What did I eat yesterday? If you're always eating goji berries, just came up with that because they are nightshades. But anyway, if you're always eating goji berries and the next day you're always having neuropathy, you can start suspecting that it might be the goji berries that is triggering that. You can also just remove all the, just go plain meat if you want to remove the, you had cheese and what else did you have? Uh, berries and milk and cheese. So you could remove all berries, all milk, and all cheese if you want as well, and then reintroduce them after 2-3 weeks. The longer the better, and see if it goes away, and then if it comes back when you reintroduce as food. But the easier way is just to keep a journal to see when it appears and if there is a correlation between what you're eating and when it appears. You can also write down other things like if you haven't slept well, for example, or if there's been like super stressful. All of these things can affect the immune system. So if it has to do with an autoimmune disease like Raynaud's disease or something like that, it could be like a stressful event in your life has triggered this. And unfortunately, when that happens, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, I had a stressful event, now it's over, it's going to reverse on its own. It probably won't. So I would probably, personally, I would start with the food journal to just see if there's a correlation, because otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna have to go really, really strict. Unless you feel like, yeah, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind going just like beef, salt, and water for 3 weeks. You can do that. Um, Science Unbiased, to Rodrigo. I suggest getting some thiamine, vitamin B1, and see if the symptoms improve. A B1 deficiency can cause circulation issues in extremities that mimic diabetic neuropathy. Yeah, good point. So the best way of doing that is actually eating a lot of liver. If you like liver, just go for it. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see. It's so annoying having a fairly active lifestyle on a farm and having a mom belly. Well, the good thing with that is that when you stop eating the crap, it's probably going to come off quite quickly. Nectar says, I feel 10 pounds lost better. Lol. It's not majorly better, but it's better. I do notice it. Well, that's the thing. It's like the two things here. So, first of all, you have a certain body weight set point, and your body will want to get back to that if it can. So, that's one thing. And the other thing is that um, you have, from what I understand, you are one of those canaries in the coal mine. You notice everything. Your body is very sensitive to things. So that just the mere fact that you do feel some improvement is kind of a very good proof that something is moving in the right direction. And you also said that you can handle cheats better, which means that you're healing. And I think we don't just want to look at the 10 pounds that you lost. It's like the win that your body is actually doing better is really good. And I know that you have a have had a very, will probably still have stressful period in your life. This is gold, really. I mean, as I just said, I don't think I ever lost 2.5 kilos in a week. And it wasn't water weight because I wasn't eating a lot of carbs previously, like last week. It's just come off, and I don't even, I mean, I can't see it on my body, which is a bit strange, but maybe it is actually water weight because of stress and inflammation. I have no idea what's going on. But just keep those things in mind, what stress is doing to your body as well. And if you, under very stressful conditions, can heal your body, you probably come much further than you think that you have. Because imagine what would have happened if you hadn't been under that sort of stress. Andrew says, my experience has been with lots of yo-yo dieting where I always ended up at least as heavy a few months later is after becoming carnivore and using fasting tools, my weight dropped by 90 pounds. Holy shit, Andrew, I didn't know that you had lost that much weight. That is a lot. I mean, yeah. Thing is with JoJo dieting is that if you can't stay carnivore and you're going to go on and off, unfortunately, you're probably going to do a lot of JoJo doings. Your weight is going to go up and down a lot, and you're probably going to become quite resistant to losing weight after doing that a few times. Because every time you change from being pretty much zero carb up to a SAD diet, which is a carb burner, your body needs to switch the enzymes that it's creating, etc., and get the machinery up to burning carbs again. And during that switch, you're doing a lot of damage to your body. So when you kind of doing the stupid calorie restriction and you just kind of getting your metabolism down and you're just getting sluggish, but you still have the whole machinery working because you're not changing your diet so much. You don't change the macronutrients that you take in. So there's kind of a big difference between the two. So I'm not saying that it's preferable to do the low calorie thing on a SADA diet, but I think it actually does take a slight bit longer to do the same diet when you keep falling off and coming on again, like back forth, back forth, back forth, because your body is just like taking the time to adjust between the two constantly, and you do a lot of damage, and you don't feel good going from one to the other. So just going to a low calorie, you're going to be hungry, you might be grumpy, but you're not going to feel miserable. But going from a SAD diet to carnivore diet makes most people feel quite miserable for a few days at least, and you're probably going to experience headache. I always get headaches. My go-to here is like, if I'm doing that, just pile in the food, because I haven't checked it, but I think it's probably a little bit like low blood glucose. Maybe I'm eating a lot of salt, etc., and that doesn't seem to help. So, but yeah, it's not great. That's why I never recommend going on like a several day binge, because then your system is kind of swapping over to the carb burning mode again. And then when you stop, it has to go back. So, not good. If you're going to cheat, do it for a very short period of time and be done with it. Okay. Six months later, without counting or fasting, I'm exactly the same weight, but a little more vascular. That's nice. See, that's the beauty. When you can stay on the diet and you don't change anything, you don't have to make an effort to try and lose weight when you feel good, and things just fall into place. Um, I was just thinking right now, I'm wondering, do you know if Bart is having a live stream and if he's actually there? It's just set for now, isn't it? He didn't sleep much last night. I think he went to bed at 4 a.m. So I'm wondering if he actually is still sleeping, because I haven't heard him move. So I'm gonna go through these questions quickly, and then I'm gonna go and wake him up if need be, because I can't see him online yet. And I think there were some people that were actually meant to be there with him. So Shell says, sure, naked cooking is great. It's awesome and freeing. There you go. So if you don't mind the neighbors watching, you can come and do some barbecue in my garden, our garden, if you like. It's fine. Oh God, yes. You've got to be careful cooking bacon. That's horrible. Yeah, just stand back. You can be naked, like the naked chef with an apron on, maybe. Mm. You enjoy me time as well. Yeah, me time is good. Miss Pagan says, I've had addiction problems, so for me it's best to not and just avoid completely. Yeah. I think that's best for everyone who has any addiction to something. I haven't been able to go there because I am going to fall off at some point. For me, it's so freeing to just be in control. And that's where I am now, and I'm happy to be there. My ultimate goal is to get to where I don't like sugar anymore, and I would just be like happy to not do that. But I think that healing and that whole thought process and reprogramming your brain to not wanting it, because in the end of the day, my brain is like, yeah, I know sugar tastes nice. It still tastes nice. You still want it. It would be nice. Um, that's just how it is. It might take me several years. I was hoping to be able to achieve that by the end of this year. I haven't quite put the work into getting there, but I'm quite happy with where I am, and I think that is the problem, that I'm not motivated enough to put the time and energy and effort into teaching myself to not like sugar at this point in time. I have other priorities that are much more important, but I'm not suffering too much of it from it. I'm not, you know, binging every other week or whatever. So I'm quite happy. Lucky, I guess that's why I like your style, Pim. I have a strong hermetic tendencies and really prefer to be alone most of the time. That's funny because, as you know, my dad was from South America. When I was 6 years old, I went to, well, he's from Ecuador, and we went to Ecuador. My dad had been there for a month or two before, and I was so pissed off with him for leaving me. I think he was gone over Christmas. And me and my mum arrived, and at the airport, he was there with lots of relatives that I've never seen. And I just walk up to him and I just slap his face, and everyone was like shocked, like, you don't do that. And I basically hated being there because all my relatives are like, they want to do this cheek kissing and touching, and I just like, stay away from me. So I can't even remember the word, but I got the nickname the Hermit from them, for, and I'm still like that. So it's just something that you're pretty much born with. I think that you can retrain it, but in the end of the day, I'm so damn happy being on my own that I don't feel a need to retrain it. And yeah, it's funny anyway. It's a funny story. Uh, right. Yes, science. I was on 2 medications for blood pressure. Now I take none, and my blood pressure is in the range. So, and you're 52 years old. Perfect. I'm really glad for you, Andrew. That sounds like awesome. Miss Pagan says they overheard me talking to the old man that they were hypocrites. They got so mad by the time I was done, they told me to just leave after stopping me. Oh my god. Maybe people should stay out of your life. Bo. Hi everyone, hi Pim. I've been alone for over 10 years now and I'm very used to it. I speak with one or two other people in real life about once every 2 to 3 months these days. Yeah, and this is funny because you know what? People always say like, must be so hard for you to live in New Zealand with your family on the other side of the world. I mean, I lived in the UK for 10 years, which was very close. It took me 5 years to go back to visit Sweden. That's how long it took me. I couldn't be bothered, and my mom couldn't be bothered to come and visit me, or my dad. So that's just what happened. It's natural. And I've been here for 2.5 years. Would I like to go home? I don't know. I mean, I could. I wouldn't mind doing it, but I wouldn't. I mean, I don't have the money right now. But even if I had, it's like, is it worth it? I'm gonna have to travel for like 36 hours there and then 36 hours home, and it's like such a huge project. I can talk to my mom on the phone if I want to. I don't think I've done it once since I got here. Texting each other every now and then, but that's it. And we're fine. We're both a bit introverted, to be fair. My sister is not. She's more extroverted than me. Or at least she enjoys parties and that sort of thing. She's more like my dad was. Cool. Luke has two carnival friends in Brazil, met both online. One of them lives in the same city where I live for study. That's so awesome. I'm glad. Morning, Harry. I told everyone that you're gonna come on my live stream at some point. Uh, Zombie also uses a little bit of barbecue sauce. So I'm several minutes behind here. Fuck God. Okay, I'm gonna have to scroll quicker because I'm like 20 plus minutes behind. My blood pressure has increased over the lockdown, but my alcohol consumption has increased in line. What I love is the empowerment of knowledge. Yeah. Okay, so that's not ideal, obviously, but you are a grown-up man, you can make your own decisions, and you have the knowledge, as you say. So if you quit it, your blood pressure is probably going to go down. Are you very inflamed, or is your body not inflamed? If your body is not that inflamed, it's not going to be as dangerous as if you're inflamed. But high blood pressure always carries some sort of risk, obviously. Okay. We're talking about Raynaud's disease. I don't know if anyone has written it down. I think it's like that. I need to check it. Yeah, I was correct. So that's how you spell it if you check the comments. Just letting you know, we look at you and bought like the toy aliens on Toy Story. Look at the claw. Awesome to know. I'm not sure if that is a good thing or not. I haven't seen Toy Story. Just telling you. That's another thing, like Bart always used to watch TV and I didn't even have a TV. I don't enjoy watching TV, and now we're kind of doing Netflix quite a lot, which is like a way of switching off and just letting the dopamine hit your brain without any bloody effort. And it's like when we're doing it, you want to keep doing it because, oh my God, I want to watch the next episode or whatever because I want to know what's happening, and just get into that. But if I was never touching Netflix at all, I would be probably happier. But it's something that we kind of do together, so I'll just keep up with it. Yay, Necrokitty. Lots of raw liver. That's perfect, Rodrigo. If you like to do that strict diet for some time, do it. Go for 3-4 weeks at least. Introduce one of the things that you think might be offending your condition. See, I mean, if it goes away, that's good. You know that there was something that you ate that actually triggered it. It could still be autoimmune, obviously, But it could also just be that there is one thing that is actually causing it. But unfortunately, I think that it sounds like it might be. I can't tell. It's really hard to tell. And also try the eat some liver or B vitamins if you can find some good ones. Uh, Andrew says, Pim, okay, it's hard to admit the past few years I suffered from erectile dysfunction. 10 months after changing my diet, I wake up like I'm a teenager. So that just goes to show. I mean, erectile dysfunction is coming from, I would say, like the obstruction of your, or the lack of blood flow to your blood vessels, and a few other things as well, obviously. But that's a huge thing, that you don't get enough blood down to that area. And 10 months, you say. So it's not something that will just heal like that. It will take a little bit of time, and that's fine. I'm just glad that you actually got that. Oh, I love raw liver. I was going for more pork for B1s, which seems to help in the past, but liver seems nice too. Oh, Rodrigo, you're perfect. You're like everything we suggest. You're like, yeah, I want to do that. I wish all my clients were like that. It's perfect. So you have the tools now. You just need to implement it, and you'll know where to go from there. And if you have any more questions, if you have questions along the way, come back next week on the live stream and we can have a look at that again. What's going on? And, you know, feel free to come back and just report what's actually happened, because we're all curious if it helps. And that might help someone else. If we get the information about what's going on, what helped you or didn't help you, then we can pass that on to someone else who might have those problems in the future. Harry says stress is nasty, cortisol persists higher for longer and interfere with melatonin as well. Pim, has your sleep got a bit better as well? My sleep is very affected by someone else's sleep, unfortunately. So my sleep is worse when he's not sleeping, because he's tossing and turning and sighing and God knows. So when he's not doing well, I'm not doing well sleep-wise. And that's why I'm just going to check because I have my Aura ring, so it tells me how well I've slept. And last night he couldn't sleep, so he didn't go to bed when I went to bed, and then he came to bed for a while, couldn't sleep, and he got up again, and then I heard him go and sleep on the sofa at 4 a.m. And my deep sleep was 1 hour and 41 minutes. And I don't think I've ever had that much deep sleep, or maybe once or twice before, ever. So when I get to sleep alone, I seem to be doing a lot better most of the time. So sure, my sleep can probably be affected by stress, but even when I'm stressed, it's like because he keeps me awake a lot of the time. When I'm exhausted enough, I will eventually sleep. Right. Oh, Robbie, I started having a spoonful of honey now and again, which led to a full-blown relapse on day 5 of a fast just now to help reset things. That's really interesting, because I, like a month, maybe more ago, probably more, I bought this local honey, and I was like, I'm gonna take a teaspoon every day, or whatever you need to take, and see if it helps with my allergies, and just, early spring, all good. And that went well for about 3, 4, maybe 5 days. And then it sat on my desk and I just stopped picking at it. And I can't do sugar in any form. I mean, I know that, but I thought, I don't really like honey that much, so it's not going to be a problem. But in the end of the day, it's sweet. It doesn't taste that good to me, but it's sweet, so I will do it. So I hear you. I know what that's like. Phoenix compilations. Any risks to using potassium citrate and magnesium sulfate long term? Technically they're chemicals, but it's only the extraction process that matters. No, I don't think so. But magnesium sulfate, for me, it gives me the shits straight away. So, okay, so here we go. Supposedly no live stream. He's still asleep. I'm trying to get through these questions. Oh, did he say that he was canceling today's live stream? Okay, cool. Okay, didn't Bart announce that he was not having live stream? That's more than I knew, but obviously I was asleep. Shell has had neighbors watch before. I can imagine. Okay, so no live stream. That's why you're all still here. That's fine. We can keep talking then. Shall have maybe start a fans only account and do some cooking videos and streams. Oh, but you're cheating, Harry. You're walking around in boxers. No one would watch that. If you were cooking naked, Shell, I think you got a lot of views. After the water fast, I had no sugar cravings. I think I could have gone carb-free easily afterwards. Yeah. It's usually after fast, you're like, nah, not bothered anymore. Uh, Vivid Mouse. I prefer to be alone most of the time. I get overwhelmed at work and then come home to breathe. Relationships are different though. Yeah, totally agree. Dum, dum, dum. So we got a lot of hermits here. Necro says, I'm a bit of a hermit too, but I kind of feel really alone lately. So my friends are going to move in with me in a few months, currently cleaning, remodeling the house. Oh, that's nice. You have good friends. I like that. Uh, So, Dr. Harry is here. Raynaud's disease, D3. Check your levels. I bet they will be low, and MK4 helps. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Harry. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, if we had, I said that when we're building our own house, I want my own bedroom, and he's agreed. So we don't. I say we don't have the space. We do have the space. We have an office each, so we could actually do it, but it's all about priorities, isn't it? Okay. Right, so Shell says heavy whip, a bit of regular milk and mozzarella cheese, so melty and yummy and great over chicken. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Although I wouldn't eat that because of the milk, etc. necessarily. Sometimes I do eat mozzarella cheese because I really like it. Lucky says some people are into using clays and vegetable broths as mineral supplements, but those have their own drawbacks. Yeah, I'm not too much into eating clay, but sure, you can try that if you want. Okay, so we'll finally come to the end, and now we got two more questions. So if you do have any questions, then post them right now. I've actually been scrolling a lot lately, so um, we bought a king size bed pin with a memory foam topper. It helped us. We have a king size bed. He's not touching me, but maybe I should just get my own quilt because he's always like pulling it. But either way, when he's like sighing, etc., I wake up. So, and even worse if he's snoring. So, meh. Either he sleeps or he doesn't sleep, and he still wakes me up. Mm. Miss Pagan, I've had a lot of hair loss recently. What would be good for refeeding for that? I lost like half the thickness. Um, that's very interesting. I don't necessarily know, but hair loss could be stress. It could be something with your thyroid. Could be so many things. So I would just focus on getting really nutrient dense foods in, and then obviously if you are very stressed, try and do something about that, and yeah, take it from there because it's kind of might be some minerals, etc. They, yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm not a hair specialist, but sure, you would need some minerals, etc. to have optimal hair growth. But I bet that if you're eating well, you get enough nutrients in, you're probably going to restore that. But it might take a little bit of time before you see it. But if it's literally falling off now, you might notice a difference fairly soon with hairs not falling off. Bo has to go. I'm extremely tired. It's a night for me. Take care, everyone, and thank you, Pim. Thank you, Bo. We're gonna finish up anyway, so. Barkey had a live stream months ago. Seemed universal that low, no carb increased libido in men and women and improved male performance. There you go. Thanks, Phoenix Compilations. Nice to have you here. Yes, have your own blanket. Smack him if he snores. Oh God, I keep kicking him. I'm like, kick, and he's quiet, and then he starts again, and I'm kicking him again. Sometimes I'm kind of like pushing him, and then he gets really angry. Sometimes he swears a lot, as you can imagine. Andrew says, "You know what, Pim? You are the most honest person I've ever met." Oh my God. Okay, you're welcome. For good and for bad. It's not like undermining myself, maybe. So to permaculture pagan, watch a YouTube channel named No Plates, No Dates. I'm not kidding. He has done a lot of hair loss videos. Okay, cool. I didn't know about that. No plates, no dates. You have liver in the fridge. Awesome. Okay, so now we are at the end. Maybe it was a good thing that Bart didn't have his stream, because then we had the 20 minutes extra and no one had to miss out on anything. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Please join me on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever that is for you, when Harry is going live, talking about ApoE. It was a really good conversation, and unfortunately, I told you that my editing program has totally shit itself, and it won't do anything more than 31%, which seems to be like the magical number when it's crashing everything. So I sent that on to Bart to do the editing, and obviously he can't follow any instructions. So there are a few bits in there that wasn't meant to be in there, etc. So I haven't actually watched all of it, but he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He was looking really smug when he said, "I'm done." So I knew something was up, and I also saw that he had a lot of clips and things that weren't supposed to be in there. So yeah, he's literally done whatever he wants to do with my video, which is coming up, and I have no ability to sort that out myself right now unless I'm gonna reinstall my whole computer. So we shall see what's happening. Okay. Oop. Shell said, "Thank you for the stream. Don't really hit Bart. Lol. Gently roll him over on his side, gently." It's really hard to do anything gently with him when he's sleeping because he's very heavy. Do you know if going low carb helps with lowering eyeball pressure? My dad apparently had it a bit high after his last visit to the. That's interesting. Does he also have high blood pressure? In that case, probably. That's all right, Richard. You have a life too. It's nice that you're here anyway. Thanks, Kung Fu. Thanks, Harry. Thank you, Lukey. Isn't weed used for that? Yeah. See you on Harry's stream. It's really killing myself. Self-confidence. I had long, thick, curly hair, and now it's thin, dry, and falling out. Okay, that doesn't sound great. Get back on your diet. Well, thank you, Andrew. Love you too. Sweet. Yeah, Harry in 2 hours. Yeah, exactly. Check your thyroid if it doesn't go better. Okay. Thanks, Zombie. And everyone, see you Tuesday, Wednesday, or next weekend. Take care. Bye.